Hey witches and warlocks, welcome back to my channel. It's so nice to see you again. So today I'm going to be doing a video all about my altar and what's on it. So as you can see, just behind me or beside me is my altar. It's quite small, it's nothing huge. I haven't found space for anything in my flat that's bigger than this. So eventually maybe I might organize stuff around and maybe get a bigger table because I'm starting to run out of room. However, this is my altar for now, in my little witchy corner you can see behind me, which is all my stuff there, my books, and my just down here by the side of me is my herbs, and what you usually see in my videos just behind me. So I'm going to show you today what's on my altar and what I have. Now I've got this set up just generic. I don't have it set up for any particular holiday or anything like that. This is just my normal everyday altar, and I haven't got round to changing it, or and to be honest with you, I don't usually change it for the holidays, as again the holidays are something that I've only just started to practice, purely because I have, like I said, I've never practiced witchcraft in this way before. I've done a few spells every now and then growing up, but this is the first time that I'm actually involving myself in the full aspects of everything when it comes to witchcraft and everything like that. So starting off with my back section. So on my back section I've got this moon candle, candelabra really, and basically I got that when I was about 14, 15, and I thought, as the moon goddess, I wanted to represent the goddess, and I didn't know how, and I went through so many different types of things that I might have wanted to buy, and everything was so expensive, and what I wanted just didn't jump out at me. So I went with what I already had, and so to save myself some money, because I like to do that sometimes, and I thought, well, you know, the moon goddess is represented by the moon, and of course silver represents the goddess as well, so which is something I learned and read about, which was quite good. And then obviously on the opposite side we have the god, and this is a sun. And they're my two candle holders. I've actually got a star as well, and I assume that's really to represent a spirit, I guess. However, I don't have that one on here. It's one that I've shown before in my videos. However, I don't use it. I might do one day, you never know. So this is the sun, and I thought that represented the god, to me anyway, and of course gold does represent the god in colour, so I use these two candles to represent my god and my goddess. I have right here in the middle my little incense burner for cones, which is quite a new little object, like this, and it's got a pentagram in the middle, and I thought, what represents spirit more than the pentagram and of course incense. So I thought that was quite a good little thing. Now, going a bit further out, I have these, which is little candle holders. They're for tiny candles, so the sort of ones that we get from my witch casket box opening. They're tiny candles. They burn down in around roughly about an hour. So I tend to use these if I'm going to do a spell, candle magic, anything like that, and anything that I need to burn down and I don't have all day, or you know, days to do it in, and I want to get it done obviously quite soon, so I tend to use those, and I have two of those, one either side of my altar, one for the goddess and one for the god. In the center here I have my cauldron, and it's not your traditional cauldron, it's not. I don't actually own a traditional cauldron, and I just thought to myself, you know, what am I going to do in my cauldron other than burn things? And this is perfect because it's a clay pot that's been protected so that you can use it on heat, and on it has the crone, the mother, and the maiden. Not necessarily in the order I've just shown you, but yeah, that's my cauldron. And then I will put that down there for a second. I'm on the floor, so I'm a little bit uncomfortable. I do apologise. I'm not used to sitting down on the floor. And then in the middle here, I have my pentagram. And this actually isn't a pentagram plate. I didn't find a plate I liked. So this was actually something I bought when I was about 15 or 16, and is a wall hanging thing, like ornament, such thing, and I thought it was quite nice, and I thought I'll put it on my altar as my offering plate, or as in my plate to represent the pentagram. So that's the center of my altar. Around the altar I have these little tiles, as you would have seen in my other videos. If you look at my witch casket unboxing, my first one, these tiles came in my box, and they all have the little things. So they have fire, earth, air, spirit, and water. So they're all around the pentagram in the right positions. So they're representing in each of those. So then we have my objects that I use, my tools. I have a feather just over here. I found this feather at work. I think it's just a seagull feather of some sort, but I found it and it looked nice, so I brought it home. And that goes on the God side for me, because I don't know why. I just thought that it just felt right, really, to put it there. Then my wand. I made this one myself, out of wood and a crystal and fake leather. So yeah, so I'll tell you a bit more about that in another video sometime. I'll go through all my tools individually and what they represent and what I did with them and stuff like that. This is an altar box I got in one of my last witch caskets, and I actually still don't know what it's for, but I liked it, so I thought I'd put it on my altar. On this side, to represent the goddess, I've got a chalice. Now this chalice was one of my favourite things I found. I found this in a second-hand shop. It was on its own, and it was rippled, and to me just looked like water because it has this blue tint to it and the ripples in the water. Underneath I have my only pentagram plate, which is slate, and that came in my witch casket box as well, so that's there. So I put my chalice on there. I mean, some people have different types of chalice. You know, you can get metal ones and silver, gold. You can get ones that look like this. You can buy, this is the same company, these two things that made these. They're quite well known. This is another goddess statue type candle holder, and this was from my friend Mandy C. She gifted this to me, and it's the mother, the maiden, and the crone. So I always have this on my goddess side, just to represent the goddess a little bit more, because I love the moon goddess and I love them, you know, the maiden, and I love the crone and the mother. So I have a little incense burner for sticks, incense sticks down here. I've had this one my entire life. Like, I think I got this when I was 14. My entire journey I've had this same incense burner, so I've used this one since I was a teenager. This was a 21st present. It was actually in a box to represent me turning 21, and it has the moon and the sun and all that business on there. It's very gothic looking, and I thought it represents the fact I got the key to the door, so I became an adult. And obviously, the key is a great symbol to have on your altar. So this is my altar. Underneath, I have an altar cloth which I bought with all the symbols on it. Underneath has a pentagram symbol. It has quite a few little things like that. It also has the Triquetra, which is one of my favourites, and you'll know that if you're a witchy fan, you'll know that it's from Charmed, which is a big influence on me. I remember watching Charmed when I was a kid, and I grew up watching it, and it's one of those things that influenced me a lot. So I mean, there's not really much else to show you. This is my altar, and I don't really change it up just yet. I decided that this was going to be my altar for now, and then once I learn about all the holidays coming up, I would change it. I don't want to start with the next one, Yule, because it's the end of the year. It's Christmas. It's one of those things that you have to really take on board, and I want to make sure that I do it right, and I want to do it in my own time. So I'm missing out Yule for my altar just now, and I'll start with the next holiday next year, after the new year, to start fresh in January, and then I'll start looking into holidays and seeing what I can put on my altar, offering plates and stuff like this, and spells for the new year, and I can start venturing into new stuff. And I'm acquiring new stuff for my altar every month. Obviously, I get the Witch Casket unboxings you see on my channel. If you haven't seen them, do have a look, because they're really, really good. Next year, I'm hoping to maybe venture into getting another box, maybe, and venturing into seeing what they're like. Who knows? I don't know yet. So that's my altar. Unused as of yet. These two candles have been used, these two candle holders have been used prior in my teenage life, and they're a bit dusty now. I quite like the dust on them though. It's I think quite fitting. It's quite spooky looking, and a couple of things on here are brand new. My wand I made myself. I quite like that, the fact that I made my wand myself and made my book myself. My book of shadows, you can also see that on my videos. I made my book of shadows from scratch, and when I say from scratch, I mean from scratch. I'm preparing myself for a new year as a new me and a new witch. So I'm slowly getting myself how I want it, really. And all these things on here can be used. And the little tiles can be put into bags for charms. The feather, I'm sure I will find a use for it at some point. I don't know why. I just for some reason felt this was more God side rather than the air side, which is this side of the pentacle, which is obviously represented by air. And I would, you think, air represents the feather, but I don't know why. I just liked it next to my wand. Some people say that the wand represents fire. Some say air because it cuts through the air. But it's a phallic symbol, so I'd say it was more the God side. So I wanted to keep the feather next to my my wand, as I'm an air sign. I like anything to do with the air, really. I like the water sign as well. Quite a water sign too, deep down. So so that's my altar. So like I said, this I've used in rituals. In fact, this was my first ritual I did, a burning spell. It was just a silly little spell, but I used this, my cauldron, little pot thing, and that was my first ever time doing a spell. So that's been with me for a while. The candle holders have been with me for a long while. Again, they're one of the first things I bought. Yeah, so I mean, it's a mixture really of old me and new me, and I quite like that. I think that's quite nice. So yeah, so that's my altar really. Not really much else to say. I mean, I've I've been watching some videos of, altars and people showing people their altars and all that, and they're all very snazzy and nice, and I mean, it's small. It's very small, but it's perfect for me. Like, it's just what I like, and it just felt right at the time when I was putting it together. Slowly but surely, it came together, and I think this was one of the things that screamed out to me the most. I used to think to myself, I need a chalice. I need a goblet of some sort to represent the goddess. And do you know what? This just screamed out to me. Just sat there on its own, random in a charity shop, and as soon as I saw it, it just cried out to me, really, saying, "Buy me, buy me." And that's, I'm not here to tell you that you need tools. You don't need tools, really. However, some people like the tools to represent and help them visualize their spells and how they do stuff. And I'm the same. I like that. I like the tools around me. I like knowing that I made them myself. I found them myself, and they're mine. They're what help me visualize what I need, and what I'd like in life. And seeing it helps me believe and have good intent going out there at all times. I haven't used it all yet. I haven't done a spell around this altar yet, and until I'm ready, that will happen eventually when I feel I need to. But yeah, doing a spell doesn't necessarily make you a witch any more than it does not doing a spell. Having the tools doesn't make you a witch any more than not having tools. Do you know what I mean? I don't have an athame yet. It's probably one of the hardest things to find is an athame, and they're hard enough to find anyway. But to find an athame that cries out to me, that says, "I belong to you. You need me," and it's what I feels right. I just haven't found an athame yet that cries out to me. I've looked everywhere, and not yet has the athame that should be mine come to fruition. So my altar is not complete yet, and I'd like to have an athame. It'd be nice. But we will go through all of this stuff one by one. I'll show you all my tools individually, tell you all about them, and like what I get from them, and what I use them for and stuff like that. And so it's something I'm going to look forward to. But yeah, so this is probably the most important things in my life. Is this my altar? For me, it's me. It's everything on here is just me. What I've found, what cries out to me. My life through my journey is all on this table. And in this corner of the room, it's what defined me growing up. And it was a part of me that I suppressed for a while growing up. It wasn't easy. I just never felt ready to be a witch or a warlock, or I've always been pagan, always have since I was 14, but I just weren't ready to become a full-fledged witch, I guess. And now I am, and I'm happy about that. I'm excited. We've got Yule coming up now, and I don't celebrate Christmas. I just don't celebrate Christmas as a culture anymore. I used to, don't get me wrong, I was a big Christmas fan. And this year, just not. I don't know. Something just stopped me, and I just went, you know what, Christmas is not for me. And I exchanged presents with friends, and you know, I don't have a tree. I don't decorate a tree on my own. I just doesn't feel right. So yeah, so I work loads anyway. Over Christmas, I work a lot, and in my job, there are 1,000 trees. I dress up for Christmas and have a little Christmas jumper on. So I thought I'd be a little bit Christmassy today, but you know, nothing major. I'm not really a Grinch or anything, or a Scrooge. I just don't celebrate Christmas. But yeah, let me know if you've got any questions about my altar, any questions about what's on my altar, why I have such a small altar, any of those questions. If I didn't tell you today, and you want to know more about some things, then let me know, and I'll do some more videos about my altar, especially my tools. That'll be coming soon. My tools, my divination, like my tarot cards, all those sorts of stuff will be coming soon. Some more unboxing as well. So yeah, so you've got all that to look forward to. So if you have enjoyed what you've seen, don't be shy. Give me a thumbs up, give me a like, subscribe down there. Ask me some questions. Put me something in my box for me to answer. And it's always nice to meet you guys, and always nice to talk to you guys. And I try and answer all the questions as much as I can. So yeah, so that is my altar. So all I've got left to say is you be you, and blessed be.